Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian. Just like we have been for the last two videos, we're continuing with the Desert Treasure 2 boss guides. This time we're focusing on Vardorvis. Simply put, the best way that I like to think about this boss, I just spent like a 3-hour live stream just practicing it, making sure I got it down before I made this guide. But the best way I like to think about this boss is that it's basically like the melee version of Zulrah, where quite simply, even after, I can promise you, even after watching this guide, even though you'll have a better idea of what to do, it's just simply one of those bosses you just have to practice. You're just gonna have to practice. You're just gonna have to get KC in before you start getting good at it. There's really no way around it, to be honest. Even now, where I'm like almost 70 KC in, I still make mistakes here and there. I've gotten better at it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm a lot better at it. I can get multiple kills a trip now, but it's definitely one that just takes practice. So be patient. Keep at it. I'm going to show you guys a few strategies, some useful plugins that really help with the fight. Without further ado, just like usual, we'll go ahead and go over my gear first. And it's nothing special. It's pretty much the standard of what we usually do in these videos. I'm wearing full elite void, dragon boots. I'm wearing a berserker ring imbued. I got a whip, glory, fire cape, your breast defender. Pretty much just bring your best melee gear, as long as you're bringing a slash weapon. That's what's really important. As long as you have a slash weapon and your best melee gear, that's all you need. In terms of my inventory, it's pretty simple. I would highly recommend bringing some sort of spec weapon, even if it's just a DDS. The extra DPS does help quite a bit, especially towards the end of the fight where he also has an enraged phase. One thing I've kind of noticed while making these guides is that all the bosses pretty much have an enraged phase, and all their enraged phases tend to be kind of the same, where it's just the same thing as it was for the rest of the fight, just faster. So for Vardorvis, it really does speed up. So having a spec weapon to kind of like help kill him quickly can help. It can go a long way. Just bring the best combat potions that you have available to you. If you're an Iron Man, just bring a super attack, super strength, super defense, whatever you would like, those type of things. Bunch of supplies, tele tablets in case I need to tele out. I highly recommend bringing Thralls. Thralls does add up for the extra DPS. It is a little bit useful, so I do recommend that. Aside from that, I have my quick prayers set to protect from melee and piety. If you don't have piety, just use whatever your best melee prayer is. Pretty simple. Okay, so before we actually go into the boss fight, let me go ahead and kind of explain the generalistic strategy that you'll use when fighting Vardorvis. It's actually pretty simple. You can kind of see the tiles that I have marked here. These are pretty much for the strategy. TLDR, long story short, it's pretty much you stand against the wall. You keep hitting him. When an axe is about to come your way, you just step out of the way and you step back. That's the very overly simplistic way to phrase it. The other way to think about it is this, okay? If I go ahead and mark these tiles, the axes that get thrown in this fight are a 3x3 tile. That's how big they are. This is basically the size of them. So they spawn in between each of the pillars, essentially. So as you can see, this is basically what it looks like for pretty much all these. Okay, this is where it spawns like. So the spots on this, I don't know what you call this. The spots on this map, part of the map, that get hit the least are actually in front of the pillars, like these two front sections in front of the pillars. So what you're really doing is you're kind of just sitting here, and as long as there's not an axe coming your way, you're just camping the spot. And then when there is an axe camping your way, you just go to one of these two locations over here, either this spot or this spot, to whichever way an axe is not being thrown to. That's basically it in a nutshell. It sounds simple. It's just one of those things that it's gonna take some practice. That's it. Very simple strategy, but it's a little difficult to master for the average player. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and go into the useful plugins for this. Now, just like for the Duke Succulus that I had in my Duke guide, you're going to be wanting to download the Better NPC Highlights plugin if you haven't done so already. Download that, open it up. You're going to have some TrueTile IDs, okay? In the TrueTile ID section, input these two TrueTile IDs, 12225 and 12227. These IDs will help actually highlight the axes that get thrown during the fight, so that way you can actually see what tiles they're occupying as you're fighting. Because I know, at least for me, when I was first fighting this, it was part of what made this boss fight difficult in the first place. Is just I just could not tell very accurately, I should say, what space the axes are occupying to know whether or not I would be getting hit or not. That's part of what made it a little confusing for me. So this helps out a lot. It lets you visually see it. I also recommend too, in the hull section, okay, go ahead and type in Vardorvis's head. Just like this, just the same way that I have it typed here. This will make it so that during the fight, there's this thing that shoots a ranged projectile at you. It will be highlighted in orange, which is a different color from the axis, so it stands out a lot easier for to notice. This is especially useful towards the middle and end of the fight, where axes are just constantly be thrown all the time. So the head just tends to pop out while the axes are being thrown, so you kind of don't even see it sometimes because they're all just kind of the same color. So having this right here, making a different color from the axis, helps notice it a lot easier. With that being said, I would just recommend having game sounds on, because when the head comes up, it actually makes a noticeably distinct type of sound compared to anything else for when it pops up. So you could actually just respond to the head shooting the ranged attack purely off sound and not even know where it's coming from. But just by simply hearing, you're like, all right, I got to play range now. And that's kind of what I've gotten used to. I don't even see it half the time, especially when all the axes are being thrown. I hear it, I play range, and I'm solid. All right, so with all of that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and start a fight. I'm gonna go ahead and start the fight and kind of explain some of the basic mechanics as they pop up, and then as we kind of got through them, then just kind of like we did with the Whisper, I'll just finish the fight essentially, okay? And I'll do my best to explain it, and then later on I'll show examples from the live stream. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and drink my combat potions. Obviously, if you're an Iron Man, drink whatever potions you happen to have available to you. I'm gonna summon my Thrall for the extra DPS. Turn on my quick prayers that protect from melee and piety. You don't have to, but I'm gonna go ahead and spec at the beginning here. I'm gonna hit him first. It is worth noting that the first hit of specs don't seem to hit for some reason. Okay, go back to my whip. And we're just going to camp the spot. Okay? You see, this axe is coming this way, so I just walk out of the way. I'm not even going to attack. I'm just going to like show you guys how this fight is. See, I can basically just like hit him right here. As long as whenever I see an axe in my way, I just move to one of these tiles where there's not an axe being thrown. Even the spikes, I can just move back here. That's going there, so I have to go over here. Same thing. It's pretty simple. Okay, this is basically the entire fight with no variation. The only thing that's different is the fact that a third axe will pop up sometime during the fight. None of the axes are coming towards me, so I just stay here. At some point, the head will pop up. I think I have to get into a certain KC, so we're going to go ahead and weaken him a little bit. I'm gonna get ready for the head. When an axe pops underneath you, play range against that. You see how it glowed orange? It was different. When an axe pops up underneath you, you can just step to the side and go right back underneath. They only stay in this particular row for like a tick. Here, play range, move around. Yeah. Yeah, the axes that pop underneath you only stay in this row for like one tick. So you can go boom, boom, immediately go like this. Oh, wait, hold on. Play range, play melee. There we go. So like this. Boom. There we go. Just like that. Perfect moment. Just feel free to just take a moment and get used to the axes being thrown and not even do damage. Get used to the head popping up and just praying against it. Take your time with the boss. Don't worry about having to kill him immediately. For this, you gotta click on these little blood clots. That's how you get past that phase. It's pretty easy. Whoops. Okay, I messed that up pretty badly. I misclicked. Go back. All right, that's pretty much the entire fight. Quite literally, you've seen all the mechanics now at this point. Whoops, I went a little too soon there. I might have to restart this fight because I use so much resources while explaining. Yeah, I hear that. I put range. Go back. Let's resummon my thrall. Blood clots, to click on them, destroy them. I heard the head come up, I didn't see it, so I could put range. That's why I like having the sound keys. You can kind of hear it, it makes a distinct sound. Yeah, I might not have enough, supplies for this. We could see if I can clutch this out. You see what I mean? If an axe doesn't come my way, I can just... I heard the head. There we go. Blood Fury works really well for this. I think we might actually get this kill. Okay, we actually got the kill. And that's basically the boss. You can see, like, I didn't really have to do much. I only did this well because I've already practiced it like 60, 70 KC into it. Like I said before, this is just going to be one that you're just going to have to practice. I made it look a lot easier than it actually is the first few times that you're going to try it. Just practice it. I promise you'll get better. That's pretty much going to be it for today's video, guys. Normally, I would go ahead and show you guys what a fight would look like using a higher budget setup. But because of the fact that a higher budget setup is really almost no different from the low budget setup in this case, I'm not even going to bother. The only difference really being is that I can just kill him faster. Mechanics are exact same. I just have higher damage output. That's all it really is. So I'm not even gonna bother. Without further ado, if you guys enjoyed the guide, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And even go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section down below for one you found the most helpful, or maybe if there's a helpful tip that I didn't mention in the video that you can mention to everybody else. It might help me. It might even help somebody else watching that. Everyone would appreciate it. I know I'm the one making the videos here, but realistically, we're a community, so by all means, share any helpful tips and advice you guys might have in the comment section. So, but anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. My name is Brian, and I will see you guys in the next guide video. Peace.